snap. I think it's another brief moment in time when we get to see the change of the tides. The shifted, twisted bit technology showcasing the little bits of safety, while the quick trips are surely randomly sparking the photons around me. Let the light flow from the heat, yo. When the photons ignite, highlighting, yo, then you know it's that time when we force a change in tides. A little bit lined with something in us. It's almost like we something else, autonomous, or maybe perhaps it's that missing piece you needin'. Perhaps it's that simple message you searching. Perhaps it's just a different time framing us for the next adventure in the mainframe. Getting excited, so are the photons. Don't laminate so we can change the coupon. Let me raise the hash rate, submit the coupon fake, and reduce the rate while we mine our major bags. Crypto technology like cryptographic money will hash in your life into a set of QRs. It doesn't matter cause it's time for 3D changes perspectives. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
What up, everybody? It is me, 3D, and yes, welcome to the show. It's been a while. Glad you all could make it. I know some of you will be coming in later, and that's fine. If you're catching the replay, that's awesome too. Alright, I just want to point out, we are in a brand new season. We have a great episode. It is insane. I've been working for a whole month to get a lot of stuff ready for you guys. And I say you guys, I do mean the stream. We have a whole new digital environment. I'm actually using a completely different series of applications and programs and things. As you can see, my model is working ish. We're almost there. We're kind of there. We'll get into it. It's all about today's episode, because today's episode we're going to talk about how we got $53,000 worth of work, about $20. This is going to go over the how-to and the results. So, well, I have to ask, is AI still all the rage? Is it? Like, I'm not sure, but more and more I've been seeing coders just kind of accept the AI coding. Boom. And recently, I kind of expectedly had a problem with Grok, as I always do. And it was because it was doing code, right? So, I was complaining online, and someone was like, hey, I know a pretty good parser. You know, maybe you could try this different AI. And I was like, okay, sure, let's try this. And they were telling me this AI could specifically help speed up your coding process. Like, it was designed to just increase that speed. So, the price was right. I gave it a try, and that is how we got to today's episode. Like, literally. But, okay. We have had another episode where we've gone over, like, how to use AI to, like, learn to code, right? And so this was kind of, like, just within the range of affordability to not need to learn the code, to be able to just have it do the code. And the great thing is, you wouldn't have to be able to make a whole lot of money per month to be able to pay for the service. So you could actually attentively get business made from this, or businesses that could potentially pay for its own service, that then once you have that going, you then use it for other things, right? It has that very high-end potential of going further. Alright, so that's really what we're going to get into. We're going to talk about how to use AI to code in a manner that is somewhat high output. And it's going to differ depending on your AI that you use, blah, blah, blah. We're going to talk about a specific set of AI. Normally we go over series of AI system. We're going over one specific AI. The last time we did something similar to this, we mostly used Grok as a heavy core because we had access to it. So, I guess you could say this is per access time we get access. We're going to do one of these. If I try another one, we'll probably do another one of these. And we'll see eventually how much value we have each. For example, at a Grok, we were getting on average $50 worth of code work per month done on average. Means that we weren't getting very far. Okay. Now we were able to receive $53,000 worth of code work within the first month of this new AI. It's a huge difference. Alright, so before I go anywhere, I want to go ahead and thank today's partnerships and partnerships. Okay, that's a tough one. Alright, so I guess that's the very first thing I need to show. Well, why is that offset? Okay, no, it is not offset. I got it. Okay. Okay. So, just realized I don't have the chat up because it's a new chat. So, give me a second. Let's bring that in. Alright, so I do apologize if you've been chatting. I haven't been seeing it. But we will now from this point on. So if you're anywhere you're viewing this except for Odyssey, I'm sorry Odyssey, I still don't have your API set in to come in to bring in my chat, your chat. But anywhere besides Odyssey, you can go ahead and type into your chat. It should pop into the signal feed up in the corner. Alright. So you can see we have a brand new little, is it this way? I think it's this way. I can't remember which direction I have to look for this thing to look in the right way. Yep, there it is. So we got this little thingy over here. It's a little console. It's kind of there to basically allow us to take care of some things. I'm just now realizing some of my points. I might have to do that for more of them. But we should be able to adjust things on the fly. You saw how we just changed that? Okay. And if you look on there, that little board has a QR. It's got two QRs. That tinier one is the partnership QR. So, first off, I want to thank The Organized for teaming up with Bitcoin Live DB, Digital Broadcasting. Because Bitcoin Live DB and The Organized is a powerhouse combo. See new heights for both organizations. Now, if you haven't checked out any of The Organized various videos and content for stocks and other topics like cryptocurrency, well, you're missing out because they've been taking off more and more every day. Find them on X, Twitter, among other social media platforms. Pretty much anywhere you're watching this, except for Odyssey, you're pretty much going to find them because they're pretty much everywhere. And they have a lot of content for you to view. Go check them out. Okay, so then I want to thank our new partnership. I also want to thank Beyond the Block for teaming up with Bitcoin Live, Digital Broadcasting DB. Together, the digital broadcasting family grows. The stronger we are, the stronger we have become. Because if you haven't checked out what Beyond the Block is, well, they have concept for finding out what is like literally beyond the block, beyond the blockchain. Find them on X, Twitter, among other social media platforms. It's basically the same thing. Anywhere you're viewing this right now, there's a chance you might be viewing this from Beyond the Block. Okay. Now, we have Beyond the Block's little presentation card over here. So I want to thank today's sponsor. I want to thank Shield Filio for sponsoring today's episode. Now, before I go any further, I better think twice. There we go. I want to thank Shield Filio for sponsoring today's episode from within a quantum bit, as well as the Bitcoin Live DB network. Now, if you haven't seen a Shield Filio, well, they are like a little black book, and they're made from stone paper. So they're fade resistant, tear resistant, water resistant. So you know the info and secrets you store in your Shieldfolio will last and survive pretty much whatever you throw at it. I personally have a Shieldfolio and I use it for my info, websites, crypto keys, contacts, among other things. So these little black books are pocket sized and ready to be by your side regardless of your venture, in real life or online. And we do gonna keep this QR code right above my head. We keep that right beside me. Oh, my bad. Right beside me at all times throughout the episode. You can scan it. Alright. Takes you to the website. You can grab the products, grab a Shieldfolio, grab some of their other magic products they make with that paper, and go ahead and use Bitcoin Live 20 to get 20% off your purchase today. And I really am serious. This is actually a great product. This is one of those things that you can, when they used to say little black books, well, there you go, Broseph. They're for real. Now, before we go any further, let's roll in with the roll-ins and get the show going in. All right. I am a little nervous. It's been a while. I'm a little sketchy, right? I apologize, everybody. We'll get the show. We'll get everything situated. Okay? We'll get it going. So, I have to say, right? Welcome to the greater fourth dimension quantum machine photon analysis lab. That's right. We're out of the actual photon where we got out. Now we're inside of the lab. We're actually analyzing, and checking and verifying various things on the boards. As you can see, we have a light stream behind me. This little light stream thing behind me. All that's really going to allow me to do is, get access to the internet. So that's what we're doing. All right, the internet. So let's go ahead and turn on the internet. Okay. Internet has been turned on. So let's go to the very first spot. So we're going to show you how this works. So, here it is. So, all right. So we have the organized media up on hand. So normally we would go like this, and you'd say, "Hey, you're," and you can follow along. Now I do. I'm probably gonna keep doing that at least for a little bit because why not? I'm not sure how successful this tiny little one over here is going to be. So we're just gonna do both for a little while until we get it figured out. Now the great thing is I can make that QR bigger. So if it doesn't work out, we'll try making it bigger first before we maybe it might take a few episodes. But anyways, it's the organized media. So let's give you the QR. All right. And this is one of the websites you can check them out. We have all the information. It's a really great place. They have tons and tons of videos. Go check them out and see what's going on. Okay. So this is Beyond the Block. As you can see, they have a lot of stuff going on. A lot of videos. Really, really awesome. Some of the stuff is, some of it's from YouTube, some of it's kind of cool, some of it's from X. So it's pretty neat. Takes you literally beyond the block, right? Okay. So I need to hide that. I need to do a couple of things. Yeah, I need to do that. I need to do this, and so basically, I'm trying to keep everything situated. It's all brand new for me. It's all brand new. Alright, so we still have Beyond the Block up. Alright, yeah. Make sure you get that QR. Okay. Now we're gonna go to the very next one. So the next one is we always give this out. It is a free pre-search query. We do this every episode, right? Man, I'm sorry, I'm really rusty today. So today's free pre-search query is Codex AI. Like always, I did not use this information for today's episode. Sorry, I did not use this query for today's episode. But does mean we won't have overlapping links. If anything about today's episode actually kind of interests you, use this research query to go ahead and find out more. And like you see, it's on the screen. It says Codex AI. It gives you an idea where we're heading to the next spot, right? Okay. So I need to bring you all in for a second. I need to catch you guys up on some deets. It says right here, it says I have to exit the background and catch up deets. That's what we're doing. Okay. So today we are going to go basically and review the work that I was able to do within a month's time. Right? Kind of mentioned that earlier. And we're going to see what cost it actually would take to hire other people to do this. So the first time we did this, we didn't look at it the same way. We viewed it like if we went to a coding boot camp and tried to learn the same language. So the last time this was like if we were trying to learn a new language, what's the cost difference? Right now, this time we're saying if we went to hire other people to do the work, I'm talking about coding languages I don't actually know. Well, what is the cost? And that's where the cost value came from. So this is definitely a different approach from last time, right? But I think this fits more of the AI considered model that most people are going to be using. Meaning, if you pay for your AI, or if you pay for coding services, well, by the way, you're not directly doing the code yourself. So now it's just like last time. We're going to be using real results, but this time we use more time constraint, 30 days, to help understand the cost factor. And so, like last time, this was more or less, a month-to-month cost basis on a 5-year factor. That was how we did last month. Month-to-month, 5-year factor. This time, it's month-to-month, 1-month factor, 30-day. So only a single month, only a single subscription cost. There was no boosted tokens, no extra tokens. This is also the lowest price point this company offered that I used. So last time it was specifically Grok and GitHub's Copilot. Those were the two we used the most. And now this time it's my code base and snippets. So I write in JavaScript, C++, and then C and C++. So we used GPT and Codex. It's basically just ChatGPT. So, anyways, all right, and I do have a disclaimer. So there is something I have to say is basically I had to get assistance for using Codex. I don't have anything that Codex can work on, so I had to get someone else to help me use Codex. So the point of using Codex wasn't actually very much. Just like in the first one, using Copilot wasn't very much either. This was mostly used on the model, specifically Chat GPT 5.6 Sol. So well, that does mean something. Okay. So it says we can come back. We can come back. Okay. I have a monitor. My monitor keeps going out. I apologize. That's one of the reasons why I'm like being a little odd, because I'm having a hard time keeping my show monitor on. It just keeps freezing on me or something. My apologies. It seems like no matter what I do, I'm gonna have problems. Okay, so Okay, this was the previous episode. I ignore what the title says. This is the previous episode where we talked about how we came up with the last AI versus coding bootcamp prices. And it says to scrub through the video, but really we don't really want to scrub this one down. So like you can see, we were going through different things here. We're showing different stuff and showing some of the examples because they were physicals and some of the other stuff we had made, right? Showing costs, yeah, all that stuff. Cool, nice. All right. So if you want to check out basically the other way we did this, it's right here, right there. I'm just now realizing I didn't set up a card for this one because I just now realizing I did cards for topics, not for tabs. Something to remember. Something to remember. Alright, so this is the show GitHub repo. This is the repo for it. So basically, we've had this for a long time where whenever we do stuff for the show, we plop basically just the results and stuff in here. So like, there's other thing, like if I click this button here, you see there's a bunch of folders, and it just basically says, yeah, this is stuff from the show comes here. That one too. So, and if we go back to where we were just at, we can see there's the script for today's episode. We have the audit. There's 2 different audits, and the outline. So we're going to be looking at these audits. That's the ideal, right? Is to look at these audits next. So to look at these audits, I have to do something. Which I did have it running, but then I was like, And that's one of the programs of today. So welcome to SWAR. Okay. I'm going to hit the open button, but I got to, 1 second, let me do it like this. Okay. Sorry, I forgot I had it open. So basically we have SWAR. I'm not happy with not happy with that. Hold on a second. We can make this better. Come on, Mew. Got a little Mew, he doesn't want to adjust right. Complicated. Okay. Weird. So, anyways, that was my monitor once again going out. Okay, so we have SWAR up on the screen. This is the viewer output. So, like, there is like a little header and things like that. But we're looking at the reading and output. We're looking at the 30-day audit. Now, keep in mind, if you want, check it out. There it is. Okay. So, we basically had 19 conversations throughout the 30 days. We had approximately 367 user prompts. Now, we say approximately because there was actually total amount of prompts was like 454. But if you was like reduce it down to like subject matter or something, specific things, it would be 292. So a good and even middle ground was 367. All right. So there's 291 major deliverable units. There's like financial features, fixes, subsystems, release tools, test suites, and documentation packages. And so like the documentation packages is one of those things where like there's a lot of output for one input, right? So approximately 948 hours of conventional replacement labor. So this is like what we would say, hey, this replaced X amount of labor based on the type of jobs being done. Okay? So there was approximately out of that labor, you come up to the price points using the different things, about $52,970 wage equivalent, and that's a low ball number. The real range was between 42,000 and 64,000. And there was at some point about 1,000 hours worth of work considered into all of this. Again, depending on how we look at the prompts and the outputs and things that, or what we're working on at any point in time, the number of hours does change dramatically. So we looked at it. I looked at it like 3 or 4 different ways, and I took the middle one. That's what I went with. So the actual ChatGPT subscription, again, $20. It was exactly $20. So the effective subscription cost was about 5 cents, well, almost and a half, 5.45 cents per prompt. I got about 5 cents per prompt. That's cheap as fuck. Okay, so my effective subscription cost per deliverable was about 6 cents, almost 7 cents. Cheap as fuck. Replacement value to the subscription ratio was about 2,649 to 1. insane, right? Insane. So let's point out to the note the 948 hours are not literal, they're elapsed hours during the month. They represent how long a conventional mixture of developers, QA testers, release engineers, technical writers, and testers, I don't know why that's not in there, testers, to reproduce the delivered work. Lower confidence estimate, again, I'm trying to lower it down, make sure I don't go, 140 to 230 active hours. That's like real time, full team running, right? Another 185, or centered around 185 hours of like core work. So this is going to include like prompting, testing, batching, or patching, troubleshooting, reviewing, and then uploading and releasing. Okay, it's going to include all of that. Okay, so more important notes: ChatGPT shared links normally contain a snapshot of the conversation throughout the point. Everything was shared this way. The underlying artifacts basically give us this amount of information, and these were not simply like plans or anything. These were like a large amount of work. I was asking for heavy, heavy load of work. And so we have this thing called Crypto Chest that we made. It has extensive randomized security systems. It's got GUI or GUI, it's got recovery. It's got release candidate test records. It's got multi-container release systems and operator workflow. It's got a ton of things in here. It's actually like insane what's all in there. We'll talk about it. Then we got the BitNinja package, which basically is the model you're looking at right now. I know it's not running perfect, but it's actually doing stuff. So the Mint Ninja, that includes new service modes, new audio link, lip assistance, eye tracking, presets, launcher workflow, really new release documentation, doctor systems to help you identify what's going wrong when you have a problem, and a GitHub package. So then deck card widget, it's a different one. That's actually that little thing that keeps popping up sometimes to show you guys information about where we're at or what we're talking about. In this case, it's the subject we're talking about. Yeah, that's deck card widget. It actually contains separate controller input output windows. It actually allows me to do some stuff like like this little thing right here. Well, I was just at that. Right, some nugget proof right here. Nugget proof. Alright. Look at that. So, like, that's actually an app that I was just running. Like, it's running right now. I just hit swap state, and we changed the state to a different thing. Man. I literally just logged that evidence, didn't I? Shit. And so it allows us to have on the fly pop-ups. From now on, like, I'm going to try to make more of these, and we're going to try to have more of these little things that, like, help explain what's going on. Well, basically, even like that card widget, it includes a controller and output window. It actually can do a ton of little things. It's got multiple storage formats, editable content display, image edit, text layers, emoji support, OBS support, cross-platform set of documentation, and then SWAR, the thing again we're reading right now. It has a connector to the streamer board console, and it has automated and local acceptance suits. So it basically has various ways it can automatically do things. Believe it or not, we do have a teleprompter mode. So we have the pre-app work. It's just prompt use, time, cost, which major units. These are deliberately do not count every button field, blah, blah, blah. But they represent units of the stuff. You can see they all mean something different, including there's no non-code work involved also. So now we're just going to let this scroll through so you can kind of see what's going on. You can see Crypto Chest probably has the highest labor value at 15,000. PQC Scout Knife is kind of low than the visualizer, which was just an update, and the sound card, just an update. Still about $1,000 worth of work just to update those applications. And we're going to keep going because it's almost done. Like, I can speed this up a little bit. So, as you can see, some of the crossroads are not comparable, but they just basically giving you the data. And right here at the end, we can see it says there's about a total of 367 something. I don't know what the heck that actually means. Where's my scroll bar? It's down here on the bottom. Estimated prompts, and then we have major units, and we have all this stuff, right? So basically, we want to see which ones produce the most stuff. We have all of this information in here. I'm not going to go over absolutely everything. There is stuff in here for you guys to come check it out later. So basically, it says Crypto Chess had the absolute most amount of work. Again, about $15,000 worth of labor went into this. And just to point out why, this includes 3 custom gameplay modes. This has a repair system. It has a PQC asset container system, also self-reconstructing. It's state handling. It's got multiple release doctors. It's got manifests. It's got migration and compatibility work because there's previous versions. There's an entire assistant asset manager built inside of it. It's got self-packaging, pre-packaging, repackaging. It's got a whole bunch of. It's got an entire packaging suite. It's got privacy audits, release sealing, documentations, as many as I could think of, and extensive automated acceptance coverage and testing upon install. So CryptoChess did not win the efficiency race, but it definitely has the most amount of work done to it. So the one that has basically the highest number of major functions is going to be SWAR, the thing we're looking at right now. I mean, like, it's got a lot of features. I mean, I'm just going to unpause that for a second. Like, just remind you guys, a teleprompter built inside here, right? And SWAR means, it stands for script, writer, and reader. And, well, we are reading. All of this was written on here, too, by the way. So, my entire episode today was written on this. So now we have, basically, it's just going to go the next thing. The thing that probably was, like, the second in one, with, like, the most amount of stuff to it, was just your important console system. Alright, then we go in, blah, 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 blah. So here we go, we got more stuff here for you to look at. Okay. So, yeah, I wanted to cover, okay. So, you can see we have, like, per prompt, how much, came from each one. Like, we actually have one, but we only did 3 things. And it's still a huge, huge conversation. I just needed something explained. Sometimes that's all you need. Okay, so we got QR code, the code work, the QA, and the non-code to totals. Man, my dyslexia just went QA means QR today, bro. So if you would say, like, how much does it cost to get all these features implemented? Like, the features and the implementation with the code. About $31,000. And then if you would say, okay, well, how much, like, QA debugging? Because I even had the AI do all the debugging. I didn't do any of that. I had it do all of it. Basically, all I did was testing. I literally was just the tester. I did all the testing, reported all the results, and explained what was going on, and I had the ability to approve or disapprove the results. There were times where the AI said, basically, the results you asked for have been given, and I basically replied with, bitch, please, I want this different. But because I was able to, I didn't just say, bitch, please, right? I was able to explain my point, this and that, blah, blah, blah. It made a huge difference. So, that's going to be some of the point here that we have. You kind of got to do something on your own. But again, that's $1,000 worth of work all right there, especially that debugging. All right, so then pure non-code work, about $8,000 worth there. So that's where we get the $53,000 from. And this is based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and the fact that, a lot of this work would have came out of California, or another country. So, so about 47% of the work had nothing to do with code. So roughly only 50 something percent, 52 point something percent, or 53.2% was actual code work. And so if we say, what is all the non-code work value? About 21 grand. Well, that's still pretty good. Still pretty good. So we have more information for you to see, blah, blah, blah. We can break it down further into what some of this means, and then we have a ranking system to show you the rank of order by functionality, major substance, sequence substance, blah, 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 blah. Alright, and then we have a credit there at the very bottom. Okay. Now, I did have Grok also go through and check it. And Grok came up with similar but different values. So I thought it was really important to show. You can see here, Grok was only able to really distinct. It said there were like 8 to 12 distinct projects out of the 19 conversations, which is kind of smart to notice, right? And based on that, because it's not really considering some of these other conversations, it says, well, it's about $1 worth of work per conversation, per task. And per distinct app, anywhere between $1.70 and $2.50. So basically, if you would go back to that ranking list, CryptoChess had number 1, so it's probably $2.50 worth of work, and then the other ones had less and less and less. So then we can see here there was probably a daily cost of about 67 cents a day in actual, like, what it cost me to get stuff done per day that things were done. And then it says here, it considered about $50 to $150 an hour is cost. And so it says that the hours was approximately, well, it doesn't give me the hours it believed. It just, 15 to 50 plus hours. I'm looking on the wrong spot. Make that easier for me to see. Here we go. Okay, 15 to 50 plus hours. So it's ranging between 750 and 7 grand. All right. And then it's saying, so each smaller thing had a real cost, about 2.5 grand per, or 2.2 grand per. And then here's what we actually got delivered to us, anywhere between 3 grand and 12 grand worth of work. Now, I think this is probably like a really super conservative, and this is like, I think, like when I was looking up stuff, this $50 to $150 an hour, that's like if you find someone individually to do something for you, or you go to certain countries, you can get it at that price. There are countries you can get it lower, but what are you going to get? Who knows? And so that's kind of the thing here. So we have a different summary, different cost projection, but really a lot of the same points we're seeing. CryptoChess takes a lot of work to get done, and there's a lot of PQC upgrades in there, and then like 6 conversations. Look at that, just to get the structure of CryptoChess. So like to Grok, it was like, well, CryptoChess is basically the whole thing. It's the whole kit and caboodle. Okay. Now it says here, I got about 150 to 600x return on my $20. I like that still. That's still really, really good. All right, so overall verdict, about $1 to $2.50 per thing we got out of it. So now, besides looking at SWAR, because keep in mind, SWAR, this is just the reader mode, right? We got a story mode. We can just kind of, let's go a local edit, force it into story mode, and see what that looks like. Oh, wow. Hugely different. We can edit directly. We can edit and split. And we even have like little features like linked scrolling. So it's got a somewhat smart function scrolling that tries to attempt to scroll everything together. And even if it doesn't work, we have individual scroll bars. Turn off the teleprompter. Back to reader mode. And close it down because we don't need it. Alright. So that is those words. You can go find them, check them out, read them in detail. Okay? If you wish. Because the next part, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time dive deep in. We're just kind of going to show them to you. Okay? So this one, we already showed it to you. Okay. We already showed you this one. It's SWAR. Okay. I'm going to have to get that screen adjusted. Alright. So we have SWAR. You guys already saw it, so I won't have to go very much further into it. And you can see I have the deck up for it, the deck card, that kind of talks about it. If we scroll down, we actually look at it, we can see there's a whole lot of little things going on that we're not really talking about. Like, this is basically my own personal script writing. This is how I write all of my episodes. I've been using something called script, or it's like my own writing language, and now it's an official thing. So SWAR is the official reader-writer for my personal script writing language, which now my personal script writing language is a hypertext extended markup language. And everything you saw in that app was outputting from SWAR. So it was outputting from a script file. So it just shows you what all we can get from it. And there's a lot of little things going on. I don't need to go over it, right? So now we have script. This is the actual language that I was talking about. This is that hypertext extended markup language, which actually supports a whole lot of features and functions that you normally wouldn't get. So this kind of extends and combines Markdown with CSS, with some other unique things that just didn't exist before today, or before I had them built. So you can see there's a lot of things that we can do in here. A lot of functionality. Like, there's even a point where you can use script language as an output for games. Like, it has a way to do like checklists and things with inside of it that can actually produce a real live output keyboard there. So it has some amount of live interfacing abilities and things like that because it has markdown capabilities. Okay. So next is the deck card widget. Switch over to the deck card widget on my deck card so you can see what we're talking about. So the deck card widget is like, here's the output. This is what it looks like. It looks the same on your screen. Well, I have a little button on mine to show me where the QR thing is. Here's what it looks like. So if I go up here and I say, let's put 6 here, and then we'll see it's going to move. Oh, I put it in the wrong spot. Let me put it right here. Put 6 here. We're going to see it's going to move. See? Just move. And now we can do that here and fix this. So we can fix this stuff on the fly. So I need to edit this, update this, so where these wrap points are for all the cards, not individual cards, but little things. But at the moment, there's a lot of things you can do on here. You can create, edit, swap, rename, do all sorts of stuff with the deck cards themselves, live even. Like, for example, I can click a button. I don't really want to do this, but I can click something, hit silent swap, click. We can swap that out. You just saw it move, but nothing changed on my end. Now, if I click this button, it changes. Oh my god. And now we got a live change. Let's go back to deck card widget where we're at. So we have all these nice little things we can do there. We can mess with the emojis. We have emojis already on there. We have an image on there, right? So we have the different images that we can do. We can adjust them. We can reuse images we've already uploaded. We have text layers we can add in. We can literally apply our output to OBS. We have all these different little things so we can ensure that OBS works with it. We have hotkeys. We can edit anything on the screen. We can edit anything that we can, like all these little, like, see how it says official medium 90? Like, those actually mean something, right? I can change that. Change it right now. And we can go in here and we can change what we're talking about, what we have. We can add in, take out, do all sorts of stuff. We can change, mess with QR, and even all the colors on the screen. So, pretty much whatever we want, we can. We have a custom storage system called Butt Store. It means button storage. It's funny though. There's a couple of funny little storage systems that actually apply. They actually work. They actually do stuff. Well, give me a second. Okay, that scanned. Yep. All right. Now that we got that down, yeah, I'm ready. Ready for the next thing. There's all the information you ever need about how to use it and stuff is in here. Okay, let's go to the next thing. So now we have the BitNinja mocap Lite. Like, this is just a fork from Sense mocap. So this just gives you a BitNinja options thing that allows you to really mess with it. Like, I can actually have my model go from GPU to CPU by just clicking some buttons and adjusting things. Not actually, like previously you'd have to turn it off to do that. Now, if I want to go back to GPU, I'd have to turn it off and on. But going from GPU to CPU, I can do that now without turning it off. There's a tiny little bunch of little things I can do without turning off the whole thing. I might have to turn off my model or my camera, but there's a lot we can still do. So, nice little thing. Okay, I'm going to give you that link again. Actually, right here. Should be right there. Okay. So we're going to go to the next thing. Streaming board console. So this streaming board console, let me give you an idea. So this is where the pin boards are at. So I actually have the pin board controller in here. We can have it remove the tab. So now we have the pin board controller here, right? I don't know why that just happened. No. What the? I don't know why my computer just immediately made that super wide for no reason. Anyway, so we have the pin board thing, right? So if we swap state, like we go to another one, here we go back to that secured thing, right? Here it is, right? We can move it around. Now keep in mind, I had it where I wanted to do it. And I started playing with it, right? So that's fine. Okay. Alright. So there's that, and then like there's a button on the controller, which I lost the controller. Oh, step right where do it. There it is. On the controller, there is a button here, so if I go back to pin boards, I can just say, bring that back in as a tab, and it gives me everything I need right in one spot. And as you can see, I can actually check on all of my programs. I can see what's going on. I can see how much RAM I'm using, CPU. I have information that I need. I can add in more apps in here as I need. We can adjust some of the apps with hotkey. I don't have all set up to work on all the apps for the hotkeys, but there is a possibility for that. Again, the pin boards, we have profiles, migration system, a backup system, an entire doctor that runs every time we start up to make sure everything's good. Also does this an install. we can copy our console, set up a release if we ever change anything, and then, what I was working on, that thing I had. So, a lot of little features, a whole lot of function packed into a small little package. And this basically allows you to use a lot of these apps simultaneously, at the same time. It's really neat. Now, you guys probably, if you know me, you know SPX. This is specifically the most advanced SPX system I've ever come up with. Alright, this is literally the most advanced one I've ever done. And, well, it's kind of complicated. I had to do a lot of work on my own to get this made in the first place. And then I had to go back and relook at it and reconsider how the system worked to get it to working better. But now it works from base 2 to 92. This literally can do almost any kind of bass you need to have a compression system for that bass. And this is an insanely strong compression system where anything that is over 27 sections of information will allow you to get over 50% or more compression rate. So this is an insane amount of compression that is completely possible with this system, including 92, the maximum supported, which your maximum compression is 1. So, I mean, and I'm not gonna, I can't show this. It is now its own little program where you can basically get the lookup table made that you need to have this quantum entanglement compression through token swaps, which is one of the main SPX systems, one of the main 3 core systems of SPX. Okay. Now, I have to see. Pretty sure is alright. So, kind of want to talk to you. Oh, Roadkill, what up, bro, Seth? What up? I see you. Fist pump. Man, right back at you, bro, Seth. Let's get that fist pump going. Now, one of the ways I got a lot of this work to do, or to happen with the AI or whatever, right? One of the ways I got a lot of this to happen is I had a few. Let me see how many. What is it? I had these 10 things I did. Okay, I'm gonna bring them in for you guys to see. I'm trying to get stuff. I'm adjusting stuff on the screen real fast so you don't have to see what's behind the screen. You just see the screen. Okay. So we had these 10 things that we do. So first thing I did was I did some research. I found out basically what I need. I made sure there wasn't already something already made. Okay. Then next thing, basically I review everything the AI gives me. I might not be able to completely audit the code, but I can take sections and search. I can search sections of code and receive other snippets to determine is it somewhat whatever. And I'm not doing that for everything. A lot of times you're going to do that around airshoes of problem, bugs, things like that. Or anything you see you don't know you want to learn about. That is the other thing to do it for. Okay. So then, basically, have the AI do all the debugging for you. You need to audit and do the quality assurance testing and, actual live testing, but you have the AI do the debugging. Okay, you don't need to do it yourself. That's something that I always hear everyone complain. They always say, "Well, AI gives you more problems you have to debug than ever before, so have the AI debug it." Okay, you don't have to do that part. have a broad view and plan for your project. Every time I went to the AI, I had a plan set up where there was a broad view and then a detailed plan with phases. First thing we need to do is we need to get this back end working with some little bit of information for me to see, just know that the back end is working. Then we need a GUI. Then we need this. Then we need these functions. Then we need all this. And sure, that plan didn't always stay one-to-one. There was times where I'd say, look, we need to pause the plan. I need all this shit taken care of now because there's something wrong with it. We just had to take care of it. So we did. And we would whenever it was needed. And then when I was done, I said, all right, let's go back to the plan because I know the plan. They know the plan. I say, let's go to the next phase. Here's the next phase. They go, oh, I'll see that. And we go to it. We're right back in it. Nothing missed. Nothing skipped. Right always on it. So then, basically, each phase was very limited and narrow in scope. I was going to make that its own thing. I probably should have, but I didn't. Should have. So then next is basically you got to start kind of big. We got to have one big start. Because you got to have a lot of stuff started. Something I used to complain whenever I was making a new program. I was always well, I got to have a new GUI. I got to have new interactions. I got to have the new functions. I got to have them all synced to the GUI. And so a lot of times I would just start off no GUI, everything to terminal. And then once we have a backend working, I was using the terminal output as my GUI until all right, I can see stuff's working. I need to be able to do more. And then we'd go to it. But it would be a part of the phases. So then you start big and you wean down. So you have that big first initial phase, and then you wean each thing down with those limited, narrow scopes per phase after. Then you want to, basically okay, free and open software is sometimes a really great start. Now, a lot of times when you're using free and open software, you need to check and see, hey, what all do I have to do afterwards? I'm still not even sure if I did everything I need to do for the Sense mocap thing, but I think I did. Which was it was free and open, so I made mine free open. I didn't exactly push mine back to him, but it is made available to where they should be able to see that it does exist and be able to access some of the stuff. Now, I'm sure the features, if he saw it, the guy would probably think, dude, why are you adding in all these old features? These are things people were using in 90s webcam stuff, and it's yeah, that's right, that's the last time I was using this kind of shit, man. So there's still room for upgrades. Okay. But this part about free and open, you gotta, it's not always a requirement, but good faith actors will see it as a requirement, so I added it. So basically, you need to be honest with AI. If you don't know something, you need to tell it. You need to say, I don't know if this will work. I think this is a good idea, but I don't know. I would sometimes straight up tell the AI, you're the coding expert in this language. I don't know this language. And just remind it to hey, you need to do this extra shit because I don't know. And it would. It would do extra work for me. I wouldn't even have to ask a second or third time. A lot of times after the second time I have to tell it, I don't know this programming language, that's normally the last time I have to tell it. You tell it the first time, it doesn't really pay attention. Tell it the second time, it's starting to pay attention. Okay, if you have to tell it the third time, wrong AI. Wrong AI. And believe it or not, sometimes I wonder if what code language works best on what AI is. Because I found some languages work really, really good with Grok, that don't work so great with Codex, that did fine on GPT, that suck on Copilot. You know what I mean? And it's the exact same process, exact same thing, but the different AIs handle it differently. And then if it's Python, they get handled differently, and so there's these little differences between them that make a huge thing. So sometimes your AI and your code need to be aligned. Alright. So, basically, how we always get all this fluff from AI, you don't need to give the AI that fluff back. It needs to be more direct information and no fluff to the AI. The reason why a lot of people get AIs that give out all this extra fluff and stuff is because they give all that extra fluff and stuff to the AI when they talk to it. AIs are very reflective. So if you're direct with them, they'll be a lot more direct with you. So do not accept what you do not want. And inform the AI why you don't want something. If you just say, I don't want this, the AI is going to be like, you stupid. Keep it. You know? Even if it, because like, you might say, I don't want this, and it might break it. Right? But there were times where I was like, there is this thing, I don't like this. I don't want this. I didn't ask for this. And then I would say, here's why. Because if I didn't say here's why, the AI would rebuttal and try to get me to keep it. But if I said, look, this is against what I'm saying, this is against the core of the program, this is against, and I could give it a strong argument on why I didn't want it, AI wouldn't question. It would say, you know what? I put it in there, I thought it was good, you're not liking it, let's just get rid of it. And it would stop with that whatever from that point on. And it was kind of a really important thing, something that with Grok was really hard to do. Grok would constantly put shit back in there because Grok wanted it in there. Well, guess what? There's another way to get around that. Sometimes, and it's probably in here, sometimes it's easier to have something removed after it's fully put in. Sounds stupid, but it's true. Like sometimes you'll put something in, right? Or the AI will put something in, you don't want it. But you're like, what does this do? It does X. I can just have a different thing put in that does something similar or close enough that I can tell the AI, we'll just get rid of this other one because we have this new one and I don't like that old one. And it will just get rid of it out of like function, personality function state. Basically, like it has this thing where it tries to determine your personality. And you say, where I really don't like that old one, but I like this new one. Then the AI will go, well, let's just take what we need out of the old one, put it in the new one, and then get rid of the old one since they like the new one. And it's just kind of how it thinks. So that's what you do with it. So you have to see what it gives you. And then, like a tool, you sometimes need to mess with it, right? You kind of got to learn how to work with your AI. So that's why I'm saying, like, sometimes being direct with it, and blah, blah, blah. Don't accept what you don't want. Tell it why. Be direct. Just be honest. So, next thing, be flexible yourself. You also have to be flexible. Sometimes new add-ons, not a bad thing. I let it keep in all sorts of weird health checks that don't really matter. But you know what? They became useful after time. Every so often, a health check would pop up a no pass, and it would be like, whoa, what? That almost always passes. And then that would tell us immediately where an error was. And so sometimes the AI puts in these health checks as like layered code checks, like layered checks where it's like, I just need to make sure everything up to this point in the loop is working, everything up to this point in the loop is working. And so a lot of those health checks, once you get everything working, right, you can then put in a doctor to get rid of the health checks. Yeah, stupid, but it works. You also have health checks, but way less. So then, testing stuff and automations and other little things that the AI always wants to use, sometimes, you let it use it. F it. And the last thing is, as long as the AI doesn't add in hardened core functions, you can actually have unwanted functions removed later, especially after a new function or feature is added, which is similar, but makes a different function mute. Okay. I had to make sure you have those. That is the how-to. Get your money's worth out of AI when it's coming to code work. I'm putting it back up on my screen. That's actually my live, that is my actual script for today's episode. Although I will admit I didn't use the script for a lot of this. Probably should have, but I didn't. I just know what some of this is, so I didn't have to worry too much. Okay. Oh, I just never realized you guys were looking. Oh, my bad. My bad. How dare you look at me with my pants off? That's an error I really gotta get fixed. Oh, oh, okay, there it is. I was like, I can't see the thing. I couldn't find the thing. I had it in the wrong spot. All right, so we're not gonna stick here very long. This is actually something um, we made with a different AI, but I had this was basically like the base for what I'm about to show you. This is what I had the new AI make. Containers. Um, Here's the thing for containers. This is the new and improved system. Problem is, wasn't good enough. As soon as I built it, it wasn't good enough. Okay? Had it made and immediately went, nope, not good enough. So we have this one. So this is crypto chess. Crypto chess is a little bit different. It's the most advanced post-quantum cryptography container I've ever designed, commissioned, and helped debug, determine, and correctly working these systems. Like a lot of my personal work went into this. A lot of my personal hand went into this. Um, this was a whole lot more than just let AI build something. So just to prove a point, and it was a stupid point, but to prove it all the same. Oh, what up? We got AI viewers from Stream Brew. What up? So, just to prove a stupid point, if you have a good enough container system, a game should be able to use it. Simple as that. So here is a PQC container system that can self-replicate upon request. It can be used entirely client-side over terminal or with a GUI. It can handle OS key re-encryptions for like literally denying the use of something on the wrong OS device, depending on your setup. And there's even more bells and whistles in here. And if you're not paying attention, you'll forget that it's actually the most advanced container system because you'll be busy playing a chess variant game with 3 modes that actually teach you the difference between PQC and classical cryptography. It's a lot. It's a game and a container system all in one. Every container system comes with this game, right? Nice. And then you extract the container out and use it over and over and over. It is a really stupid way to do it, but it still proves a point. The game allows you to verify you got it installed correctly. It's a stupid point, but it still does it. Okay. Okay. Alright. I'm getting the last few things set up. Alright, so basically, at first glance, it may be difficult to see why or how all these programs are estimated to have a cost of $53,000 to have made. You know, but if you was to download them, try them out, use them, you'll see what they actually have to offer, what possibilities they contain, and can maybe then you can consider if or how these might be used in someone's life, work, or hobby that might actually be worth anything to them. So, because the biggest part of all of this is like, each project was made anywhere between 3 days and 2 weeks. Only one of these projects really took 2 weeks. That was Crypto Chess. And honestly, it would have taken me between 15 to 20 years to have just gotten the Crypto Chess made. Like, it's a really complex project. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. And for me, I'm a slow coder. It took me 2 years to make SPX, and it still doesn't fully work correctly. I mean, like now we got one of the main core features of it working completely proper. I just need to get the second two working completely proper, and we'll have the really proper system. So, like I've said on many episodes, using AI as a tool, it does make it better than you realize. I kind of show this a little bit, or at least I hope to have showed this through my my programs we had made. So another statement I've said before many times, and now take back, AI cannot code securely. Well, that's not completely true anymore. It might still be very difficult to get AI to code secure custom cryptography, but it is possible. That's the next point I have to attempt to get across, I guess. Some of the programs the AI and I formed together, I may not have been able to hire someone or an agency right now in real life to have actually had made. Like, that's the other thing everyone has to realize. Like, the stuff I had made with this AI, I couldn't have made any other way. Like, I would have had to sit down and do it, and I've already admitted one of the programs, the biggest one, would have taken me easily 15 to 20 years. This isn't even possible to do outside of having AI do. Sure, the streaming board, the deck card, those things people could have done. But getting the container system we have inside that crypto chest? No. No, I don't think there's any agency that I could hire that would be able to do it for $53,000 within 2 weeks. Period. So, the real value I got of 1 month of using AI coding assistants was more for me something like 4 years worth of my annual salary. That's a lot of return in 1 month. So for someone like me, it's a dramatic return. If I have any luck, at the rate I'm going, I'll have my custom hash network back up by this time next year. Now, I'm not saying I will. I'm just saying, like, there's that possibility, so let's cross our fingers and hope I can get it. So last thing I have to add, all the programs I had made, I've actually wanted to have made for quite some time. And even though the real cost for me was only $20, I still spent easily 7 hours a day, 5 to 7 days a week, for 4 weeks working on this. The result of the action is, well, I have more Linux-ready applications for my web shows easy. Like, it makes my web shows easier. And sure, like, I'm still fumbling over some of the stuff. I'm still working on some of the stuff. I've never had to use it before on a live show yet. Like, give me a break. I'm trying. Okay? I mean, even look at the presentation of my episode today. Huge. So, the amount I'm getting from this, like, it's really honestly priceless. Especially since now, like, you can see, like, I might have some more bugs I need to find, and even the past couple of days, I've been doing updates like crazy to these things to get tiny little features and functionalities situated and set up to ensure that everything's ready to go. I actually have some stuff in here I don't always need to be running. Well, I don't need to have these pin boards running all the time. Like, how often do I use one of these? Not very often. Okay. But, it is what it is. And I think it was a great experiment. It was worth my time. It was worth my $20. It really was. And so now, you have the know-how. You have seen the results. You have an idea of what's possible. Now you might understand why there's more coders using AI than ever before. And if you're one of those coders that's sitting there saying, well, I can just do that myself, then you don't need the AI, do you? Unfortunately, there's a lot of coders out there who can't do everything themselves. Not everybody's a full stack developer. And, well, that's going to be a comeback in reality because not everyone needs to be a full stack developer.
Yo, did you think you know? Did you think you hold? Did you think something new? That's the goal, to see from a new degree and get the change your mind needs to find something new. Life a sudden see. So let 3D guide to the side, yo. Where there's a door, though, just be careful on your way out, for the first step is a do-see-do. A little bit Linus with something different, it's almost like he's something else. And regardless of maybe, perhaps it was that missing piece you was needing. Maybe it was that simple message you was searching. Definitely it's just in different time for defraying our mental mind state, separating us from our own mental mind tank. Boom goes the blast of thought. Boom goes the last spark with part. Boom goes the mental mind tank. Don't your perspective hit on the way out. Don't let your directive stop you when you doubt. Don't let the dire detection stop you from being getting X-rated, so the photons are delighted. Don't hesitate so we can mine up the hash rate. Let me surmise the time, submit the rate, and reduce the face while we mine our major bags. Crypto technology like cryptographic money, while hashing your life into a set of QRs. It doesn't matter, cause this was 3D changes perspectives. Thank you for joining the show. Please return next time for a new roll of perspective. Thank you for joining the show. Please return next time for a brand new perspective. Of perspective. Thank you for joining the show. Please return next time for a brand new perspective. Thank you for joining the show. Please return.